Good evening, Queen. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes,
I didn't even
indeed.
realize, but I'm gonna be in the hospital next week. What?
Man, we are definitely praying for you. I mentioned that at the meeting on last evening that we are definitely be praying for you.
Thank
Hold on, let me mute
you.
that. Good evening, young
It's
people.
8:55.
I know, but Tony got us on there. So what you want to do? Just randomly talk?
Oh no, okay, go ahead. Where Destin?
He up in there. He right there. Probably in the
Okay.
background, waiting on us to hop on or something.
He said he still
But
got 5 more minutes to show up.
yeah, just to
Oh.
say, I got 5 minutes. 5 more minutes. 5 minutes to roll call, please. Oh man. So before we get to the show, I definitely just want you to know, Miss Cat. Like I said, we are definitely praying for you heading into your procedure. So
Thank you.
that you come back whole and able to move around
Okay.
as much as you want.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I know you're sick and
I'll
tired
be
of the
free from the
pain.
bondage of this house. Oh my goodness. I never want to do no wrong where I have to be on house arrest. Lord have mercy.
Would you say that was worse than COVID shutdown?
What?
Oh man, oh man. So as you all can see on this evening, we're a little early. We're about like 4 or 5 minutes early. Just randomly having conversation in the backstage. But I don't want to hold you up, nor do I want to hold my co-host up because we is live at 9.
And
Well, three minutes till, but we still live at 9. Family, welcome to the Roundtable Talk Show. I am your host, Christopher Unk Jones, and it is Tuesday yet again. So we are ecstatic to be before you. But let me say this as clear as I possibly can. I do not want to um, sugarcoat anything. I don't want to stroke any egos on this particular in this particular episode 29. How about it, y'all? Y'all ready?
yes.
Man, I know, right? The same tools this country built for war in foreign lands or foreign countries are now being used on our own neighborhoods. Have y'all noticed? I'll point it out
Mm,
to you. The same laws that promised order are slowly choking our voice at City Hall. The same officials who swear, oh, I'm doing this to protect people, spend most of their time protecting a story and not our lives. We've seen this before, of course. Some of us didn't experience it firsthand, but it was told to us from members in our community, members in our family, as well as some portions of history before 45, 47 removed it. We've seen Medgar Evers was murdered in his own driveway while his family was waiting for his return home, shot in front of his family. Malcolm X was murdered in front of his children while the state played games with the facts. Emmett Till was kidnapped and murdered, and they told his mother to bury him quickly so that she could bury the truth. Although the story of young Till and his mother and how she moved forward in that process. Today, they have new languages for the same old violence, right? They say public order or emergency powers and security zones, right? What they mean is flat out control, 100%. So tonight, we're not going to sugarcoat a damn thing. We're going to do the things. We're going to do three things. These three things. We're going to name the real threats. Of course, we're definitely going to do that. And then, of course, we want to excuse that noise. Um, and then we're going to expose the helpers who quietly feed these threats. And then, most importantly, we're going to give our community tools in the form of people power, paper power, and step by step procedures. So our families are not blindsided while history tries to repeat itself in broad daylight. Um, so let's work. I do not sit at this table alone. I do have some hitters with me here, and Dr. Catherine Campbell. She is one. Speak to the people.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, indeed. She is the one who reads the law and finds the traps they try to hide in fine print. If it's buried in a clause or legislation, she'll bring it to daylight. Perry Busby, who is not here with us on this evening, we ask you all to also pray for him as he recover and get better. But he is our data man. He follows the numbers, the vendors, the donors, and the contracts, and he draws a straight line from their boardrooms directly to your front door. And then we have my battle buddy, Dustin Harris. Say hello to the table.
What up? What it is?
He is the brother who makes it plain. He turns complicated policy into kitchen table talk so your grandmother and your teenager knows what's being said and walks away with the same understanding. So, we're going to hop right into this into this show on our national topic as usual. Our national topic is the new playbook, emergency powers for them, exposure for us. Subtitle for this particular segment is How Our Rights Are Quietly Reduced While Domestic Terror is Softened and Excused on the federal, state, and local levels. Here is the new national playbook in simple steps. Step one, label huge areas as critical infrastructure, sort of, ports, pipelines, railways, data centers, and similar places. Okay. These, once labeled by the government draws invisible fences around them, right? A sidewalk that was legal to protest on yesterday becomes a crime scene or illegal today. You did not move. You didn't go up the block. The law moved around you. Step two, expand the intelligence centers that share information between police departments, state agencies, federal agencies, and private security companies. The goal is not accuracy by any means. The goal is volume, 100%. Every rumor, license plate, social media post, and tip is thrown into a database. That software then draws lines between dots until an organizer can be called suspicious. So, um, if you're paying attention um, to what's going on here currently, Jimmy Kimmel is one of those victims. Step three, add people to watch lists using vague words like disruption and interference that can mean anything an officer wants it to mean in the field. Again, in the field, because the judge ain't in the field. You playing, you playing with the cops now. So, a few shows ago we told you to remain silent. Still do that. Um, it's a doorway to harassment without proof, and we don't want to give them that doorway. We do not want to give them entry into our private and personal spaces. Step four, control the story. When a white nationalist commits violence, the language becomes soft. We hear acting alone and no wider threat to the public, right? This case goes quiet behind sealed records, but when black communities and homeless communities and immigrant communities or students respond with peaceful gatherings, suddenly they are barricades, um, helicopters in the air, and sound weapons used in the military. The victims are treated like suspects. Step five, put a show of safety instead of building real safety. Put on a show of safety instead of building real safety. That's what they do. Colleges, I'm sorry, churches, mosques, temples, shelters receive threats. The response is a police car parked outside for a photo op, and then business carry on as usual. No building audit, no dogs running through to find a hidden threat. No funding for stronger doors, no strict procedures for documenting threats. That's a press release, not protection. We're done falling for the show. We're going to name these steps and answer them with steps of our own. So let's get these shots together. Y'all ready for y'all shots? Dr. Campbell, you got the first shot.
Yes.
Which federal tools are being used right now to chill protest and public speech? And how can regular people recognize these tools in their own city?
Here's a concise breakdown. Can you hear me well?
All is well.
All right. Okay, so mechanisms likely at play are, like you said, watch lists, uh, fusion center intelligence sharing, infrastructure buffer laws. Okay, those are three
Mm,
things. So I'm
mm.
gonna break them down for you.
Break. I was about to say,
The
can you go deeper, please?
oh, I'm gonna just touch the surface right here. But if you want me to go deeper, I will.
Okay.
Okay. Individuals, a watch list are individuals or groups advocating local change can be quietly flagged. This may appear as repeated law enforcement attention, unexplained questioning, or surveillance of meetings. The Fusion Center intelligence sharing is local, state, and federal agencies share threat assessments that can chill activism. Watch for unusually detailed reports on local organizers or routine events. And infrastructure buffer laws is zoning, permit, or public safety regulations that indirectly restrict protests, meetings, or local projects. Signs include sudden permit denials, new
Mm,
buffer zones around civic spaces, or amplified safety rules targeting gatherings. And how are you going to spot them in Beaumont? Because that's how I related it in my city.
hmm
Unexplained police presences at neighborhood meetings or protests. Sudden city ordinances or code enforcement targeting public assembly. Patterns of event cancellations, harassment, and surveillance notices. Local news reporting vague security measures affecting community organizers. Those are that's the short answer.
So we got steps that we need to take. If anybody heard what she was saying, there's some steps in there you need to take. Perry, I don't know if I'm sorry, Tony. I don't know if you know, but Dustin dropped and he's backstage. If you can hear us. Thank you, sir. Um, yeah, Miss Cat, you dropped quite a few tools that we could access currently. You don't have to go to Home Depot, Best Buy, or none of those places in order to get these tools. So I definitely appreciate that information, and I hope our listeners and viewers uh, made note of those particular tools
Yes,
that we
sir.
could
All,
use.
all three are active here in Texas, and you can spot their
Yes,
footprints locally in Beaumont by watching surveillance grants, watching for
yes.
surveillance grants, purchases, suspicious activity reporting, app requests, prosecutions under infrastructure statutes, and the new camera ALPR license plate reader deployment.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Mhm. Yeah, you can see their footprint all over.
Yeah, man. Dustin, you ready for your shot?
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. What do the numbers say about violent incidents by white nationalists compared to the number of times they are actually charged and prosecuted? Second part of the question is, where's the gap between the harm and the punishment, if you don't mind?
Well, I'm gonna call it what it is. Ain't no violent crimes. These are domestic terrorists because, by definition, the United States defines a domestic terrorist as someone who commits violence, criminal acts within the country to further ideologize goals stemming to domestic influence. Sounds familiar? Yeah, I know it did. But
Mhm.
let's move forward. Since 1972, I guess they didn't, consider people domestic terrorists before that. They were just Klan members.
I
But
knew it.
since 1972, 65% of the offenders of domestic terrorism are white, 13% Middle Eastern, 8% black, 8% biracial. They didn't really say which races blended together. They just hit them with a biracial.
Yeah,
4%
put them in a
Asian.
box.
Yeah, 4% Asian and 2% Hispanic.
Wow.
Those are the numbers. Now,
Wow.
the punishment for said crime is a whole nother bag, but they get paraded, they get taken to Burger King, get some ice cream, whatnot. Others, you never see them, they just die at the scene or shortly after, and then whatever story needs to be told is told.
Right. 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 I mean, you're absolutely correct. Um, the David Koresh situation, the narrative was created for that. The Timothy McVeigh situation, the narrative was created for that. And majority of all of, like you said, Dustin, white domestic terrorists, we always have a buffer, or they create them a buffer in their narrative. Oh, he was, troubled and this, that, and the other. So yeah, I greatly appreciate that information. And I'm sure that the listeners and viewers identified some of those current happenings that you mentioned from our country. I'm gonna try my hand at it if y'all don't mind. I want to take a shot. Let me take a shot. So my shot question is: what can a college, a church, a mosque, a temple, or a community center set up this week to document threats, to escalate those threats to real help, and to scare off copycats without turning the place into an armed camp? So here are three moves any campus or community or faith-based center can put in place within 72 hours. And mind you, I'm ex-military, so forgive some of the jargon. I'll try to break it down. But this is some strategic thought that took me almost all week. Move one entrance throughout the entire space. If that's a neighborhood, you only have one entrance. Um, two trained greeters, three radios. One controlled doorway for entry, two greeters with a simple welcome line, and eyes up. Three radios, one at the door, one in the main room, one on the outside or on the sidewalk or in the parking area. Radio checks in every 15 minutes during events and every 30 minutes during downtime, which most of the times is nighttime. This is visible and communication without harassment. Move two, a written threat pipeline. Create one public email address and one public phone number strictly for safety messages. Every threat is captured with a screenshot, stamped with the date and time, and saved to a shared folder. That way, everybody knows the threat. Um, each threat is copied to a civil rights attorney and at least one outside ally, such as a neighboring congregation or buffer. Post a statement that all threats are documented and escalated. This discourages cowards and copycats and forces officials to actually respond on the record because now we're creating a record. You understand? Move number three, a day of plan. If a threat names a time or place, two volunteers outside to observe and record. One volunteer inside to keep a written log of what is happening. One liaisons calls the attorney and the media out. And if our media just so happens to turn bias in times of um, you know, whatever we're dealing with, we'll have our own and be able to explain and express and show our neighbors these things. A pre written public notice that states we have documented a credible threat, notified counsel, and will publish updates. If you are not at the mercy of the press office, you own your record. And lastly, we are not open carry certified. We are not concealed carry certified. We are 100% United States of America Americans that have the right to bear arms. Thank you. Flashpoint to the chat. This is for y'all, 100% for y'all. Have you ever been filmed or scanned while you're at a peaceful protest or campus event or civic engagement meeting? Type one for yes or two for no. And if you could, add the city. I'm going to drop that in the chat right fast. Let's see so y'all could know what we was talking about. Yeah. Have you ever? Anybody want to answer that flashpoint? All right. I will say yes. I was and many others were surveilled when we were engaging in the BLOC, or at that particular time, it was considered to be the civic arm for the 100, I'm sorry, the Million Man March anniversary. And so the LOC, which was local organizing committees, our community, that's what we did, and we were meeting on a monthly basis, and eventually um, BPD set across the street at the what was it? The examiner headquarters, and I'm sure it took pictures of license plates, took pictures of people coming in and out of the building. I'm sure that happened, and when we left, they left from across the street. But then that's just one instance that I remember being targeted. Know your rights. You can 100% record the police in public. I don't care what they say. If they say you're obstructing, toss your phone to somebody that's a bystander, especially if they if they get aggravated and want to arrest you. Um, know your rights. You can ask for an officer's name and agency and badge number and agency reference number. You can ask, am I free to go or am I free to leave? Am I being arrested or being detained? And why? You can request threat reports and intelligent bulletins through public records request. And sometimes, if your police department or agency is up to par, they will, you're able to request open records and or submit a federal information order act or information act. So definitely peep that out. Drop that in the comments right fast. Awesome, awesome. Roundtable question. Y'all ready? If the national system used a double standard, what parallel protection should the people build so we are not begging the same system that targets us? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
Short plan, three parallel protections: media, legal, and spiritual, which you just went over. You got to keep it lean, keep it local, and keep it rooted.
Mm-hmm.
Media, independent, trusted, and rapid. Build community run channels, neighborhood newsletters, WhatsApp signal, bulletins, low cost community radio, and grassroots reporting collective to surface local stories and counter official narratives. Train volunteer reporters in verification, digital security, and rapid documents, which is photos and audio. So
Mm-hmm.
incidents are preserved and shareable. And legal, defend, document, and deter. Create a community legal defense fund plus rapid response legal team for arrests, subpoenas, and request open records. Host regular know your rights clinics. Track arrest charges publicly. Simple database or spreadsheets to show patterns and support strategic litigation. And spiritually, uh, you can do this through community care and sustain morale and moral authority. Organize faith led mutual aid hubs for shelter, counseling, pastoral support, and public prayers. Teach ins that frame civic resistance as moral witness. Build trauma, peer care teams so leaders don't burn out. Resilience preserves the movement. One line operational rule: decentralize but document. Small distributed teams that each collect verifiable evidence, legal receipts, and witness statements so that the community can defend itself without begging the institutions that target it. So document, document, document.
Absolutely. Dustin, you have the floor.
I don't know much more that you can really do more than the doctor has said. But whatever you do, keep it off public social medias.
Yes.
Because if you do it too good, your group will be labeled a domestic terrorist group, just like the Black Panthers was when they was only trying to serve breakfast, help women, children, and protect their communities.
Good point. Very good point. Very good point. Um, especially about, keeping the threat to a minimum, the outside threat to a minimum. Um, yeah, especially living in, you know, a predominantly black city, where there is predominantly black history. Some individuals try to tarnish, eradicate completely. And again, in the 50s and 60s, maybe even before, we saw these things: church bombings, school bombings, neighborhood fires, um, crucifixes burning in yards, you know, things like that. So you're absolutely correct. Make sure you keep your people safe. Parallel protection has three pillars. Pillar one is own your fast truth network, just like Dustin just told us. Don't do it on Charlie Kirk's internet because this belongs to him right now. I don't know. It used to be Beyonce's, maybe like 2 weeks ago. It was Beyonce's internet, but now it's Charlie Kirk's network. So that means church text lists, school alerts, neighborhood radio channels, and a trusted page for verified updates. When something happens, we do not wait on the evening news. We make the announcement. We tell the story. We verify the facts. And we make the correction in minutes. So that's pillar number one. Pillar number two, a standing public record or records team with prepared request letters. When a threat happens, the team files for the documents within 24 hours. Every denial is published to the community. Public shame is then pressure, and that's when you use your social medias. Skew them on social media. But your plannings, your intel, your inside, keep that shut. Pillar number three, sacred discipline. Ushers become centuries. Elders are paired with youth to move quickly throughout the community. Prayer continues, but planning and practice are written and scheduled consistently, right? Safety is a culture, not a photo op. Remember that, y'all. Remember that. And I'm not at this episode is not to scare or to bring fear or to cry wolf. That's not what it is at all. That makes me move into segment two. Segment two, of course, we're hitting all states, but we will focus on the leader of legislation here in the United States, which is now Texas. It used to be Cali, it's now Texas. And so uh, our title for this particular segment is Handcuffs on Home Rule: How the State Cancels City Laws, Punishes Local Independence, and Calls it Order. In Texas, the most powerful weapon is a paragraph. It's called preemption. One state law can cancel years of work by our city. Trust that. I want you to know. Here's what it looks like in plain language or in plain sight. Close your eyes if you could. Your city sets a rule that outdoor workers must have shade and water breaks during extreme heat, right? Well, the state says that they passed the state says in the law that they just recently passed, um, that says only the state can set workplace rules. Your city rule is canceled. I heard on last evening that even in the health sector, public health sector, your state governs that now. So your city health department, they're powerless almost. Remember, your city sets a rule. All right. Your city limits. This is another one. Um, your city limits predatory fees or set protection for renters. Right. Renters, leasees. The state passes a law saying only the state can set those standards. Or that the property rights take priority. Your city protections are canceled. I promise. That's what's happening here in the state of Texas. As distant or disconnected as we want to be from politics and policy, These are the things, the liberties that are being removed. Okay, last one. Your city sets a tougher air rules, right? Neighborhoods because of plant emissions. Hello, Houston. Hello, Beaumont. Hello, Port Arthur. Hello, Texas City. Hello, Baytown. What's up, Galveston? The state declares that only the state controls air standards. Your local protections are canceled. Your advocacy for clean air, canceled. Clean water, canceled. Noise pollution, canceled. Trucks idling in your neighborhood, emitting, canceled. Plants leaking, no warning, no, canceled. That's what's happening here in the state of Texas. At the same time, the states move the goalposts for local elections and threatens to remove local prosecutors for using their judgment, their legal judgment. No protest laws. Turn a clipboard. New protest laws turn a clipboard and a megaphone into a conspiracy charge if the paperwork is not perfect. Border emergencies become a reason to move state police into city streets. That's their reason, though. If elected city leaders can be bullied, watched, and you remember a few shows ago, we said babysat or punished completely for governing, the message to the public is clear, 100% clear here in the state of Texas, and that is sit your ass down and accept it. That's what it is. Our answer to this, especially here in the state of Texas, is paper with teeth and money with a mission. Y'all ready for y'all power shots? Say
Yeah.
yeah. Dustin, make it plain for the people, man. List the city powers that have been reduced or removed in recent years, especially here in the state of Texas. Group them by category if you could: worker safety, renter protections, air quality, elections, prosecution discretion, and explain, if you could, the dollar loss to a medium sized city when those powers are canceled.
All right, so there's a bunch of them, but there's one that basically covers so much. So I'm just go off of that one. House Bill 2127,
Yeah?
also known as the Death Star Bill.
Yes?
Why be damned? So, even though this is going on, there's still ongoing legal challenges for this bill.
Mm
But here's what it does so far: labor and business category. Local measures like mandatory water breaks for construction workers or mandatory paid sick leave is now on the state. Property. City regulations governing local landlord tenant relationships. You guessed it, state. Natural resources. City control over issues like landscaping, lawn watering, and rules of restrictions such as also for the state now. All right, see other areas. The laws also cover sections of state code relating to agriculture, finance, insurance, and professional occupations.
hmm.
All
Mm hmm.
those, you guessed it, now state of Texas.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say water my lawn?
Watering
Is
your
Water your
lawn.
lawn,
Remember we had that
the
water
state
restriction?
determines when I can water my lawn?
Oh yeah.
especially during drought conditions. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You got to talk to old Abbott. Let him know your tulips died.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's how deep it is now here in the state of Texas. I don't know if people are aware, but that's how deep it is now. I mean, like I don't know if people know. Miss Cat, you ready for your shot? Dustin, I'm sorry, Dustin, you was done, bro.
I was done with that one because it's a
Oh,
few other
okay.
ones, but that one covers so much foolishness.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That one in particular, especially here in the state of Texas, covers a guap of information and liberties that
For the
we have
record, I heard you the
released.
first time. I just wanted you to repeat it.
Yes, you got to talk to Ted Cruz about your crabgrass when you need to water it or not. Yes.
Mm, mm, mm. My lemongrass for these mosquitoes. Ooh.
Lemongrass, your sage too, or your what they call it, rosemary. You can't do that no more.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Campbell, you ready for your
Yes.
power shot?
So ready.
Absolutely. Show us how the state writes preemptive law into using phrases like state interest and uniform standards. And could you explain to us what should a city council member read out loud on the record before they vote so the public hears the risk in plain language?
Here's the brief breakdown of how a state's preemption and state interests are being weaponized. Statutory preemption clauses. The legislatures insert language saying, and I'm using my fingers for the quotation marks,
Mhm.
this field is occupied by the
She
state.
say, I'm up here
Close
like this.
quotation. Yeah, yeah, like that. Or once again, no municipality may regulate that. Close quotations. Wiping out the city's authority over wages, housing, policing, environmental rules. Whoa, now.
Hmm.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Environmental rules and even how councils meet or spend. That strips local residents of power to decide for themselves. State interest language are laws framed as protecting a compelling state interest, as in uniformity or critical infrastructure, election integrity, and it justify overrides uh, even when local governments have stronger community protections. The
Hmm.
rhetoric turns community self rule into a threat against the state. The result is local democracy shrinks. Cities can't protect workers, neighborhoods, or protesters without risking state lawsuits or nullification.
Yes.
Silence sets in because councils feed their hand. Councils feel their hands are tied. So here's what council members should read aloud on record.
Tell
First of
it.
all, first of all, they need to name the tactic. This clause preempts our local authority and silences the very people who elected us. Now you need to claim the people's voice.
Hmm.
We put
Hmm.
on record that our first duty is to the residents of this city, not to blanket preemption, not to blanket preemption designed to mute their needs. And then we're going to expose the inversion. State
Yes.
interest language has been weaponized to suggest our people's interest is subordinate. We
Hmm.
affirm the opposite. Our
Hmm.
community's welfare is itself a state interest. Now we're going to create a record for courts and history. Let
Right.
it be clear, if
Let it be
local
clear.
decisions are struck down, it
Hmm.
is not by the will of this council or its people, but by the forced silencing of higher powers.
Yes.
So in practice, this point isn't just symbolic. Reading it aloud ensures the objection is in public record, available for
Hmm.
future litigation, public
Hmm.
memory, and press reporting. So now I'm going to give you a tight statement for a Beaumont council member to read into the record.
Give it
Put
to
it
them.
all together for you here. Let
Do
it
they
be
homework
clear.
for them, Queen.
I did it. You know I did it. Let it be clear that I did your homework. Okay, no, not that part. Okay. Let it be clear when the state inserts preemption clauses or hides behind state interest language, it is not serving our people but silencing them. Our duty is first to Beaumont's residents, and their
Mhm.
welfare is a state interest. If higher powers strip this council of authority, let the record show that is not our consent, but our
Yes.
command. I mean, but
Yes.
their command. And we
Yes.
will not call that democracy. Mhm. That's it.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
will not
It,
call that democracy.
and I mean, you did their homework for them. And
All the
I'm
way through.
sure, being that we are residents of Beaumont, Texas, I'll be reaching out, and I hope many of you all will be reaching out to our city attorney to possibly bring litigation against the state of Texas. We can do that. We can do that, especially when our liberties and our home rule, is being contested. We can do that. And that's bigger than the bond, I promise. Um, I'm gonna try my hand again at this power shot stuff. I'm starting to feel a little tipsy. My belly burn a little bit. My first shot. So my power shot is: where have communities won against the state? Court orders, city charters, move city referendums, and what can any Texas city do in the next 30 days to push back? So here's the 30-day counter plan that any Texas city can use, can run, can operate, can install. Act one, or Action one: charter shield with sunlight. Pass a city resolution that asserts home rule authority. We already got that. Our home rule asserts our authority here in the city of Beaumont. I don't know if any of the township, town, municipality has their home rule like ours, but here in the city of Beaumont, the people controls the city of Beaumont. I don't care if you absent from that place of control, you still got control in your government. I just want you to know that. Require that the city attorney to publish a written impact memo of every state law that touches local powers. You heard me say it's time to activate our city attorney. Let me tell y'all what you do again. Require the city attorney to publish a written impact memo for every state law that touches local powers. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Require that. Make that recommendation, make that requirement known to our city attorney. The memo must explain the budget loss, the service loss, and the civil rights risk. Read the memo out loud on camera before any related vote. I'm telling y'all, strategic planning. Action two is a double lawsuit with friends. You heard that? One of my best friends, her name is Sue, aka Suit, BKA Law Suit. Yeah, that's my best friend. You understand? Team up with two other cities and file for court orders the same week in different districts. Strategic planning. Ask hospitals, unions, faith leaders, and small businesses to file friend of the court letters explaining the harm to people, health, and job security. Instead of our churches not doing a ooh, instead of our churches not doing a thing, that's what you can do. Write us a friend of the court, because churches, faith leaders, they're considered to be friends of the court. So pastors, deacons, trustees, huddle up. We're gonna need y'all to file friend of the court letters explaining how these measures remove power from the very people that are in your church. hmm And those that live around your church. We might not go there, but we still live in your community. Okay. Action three: make sponsors pay public prices. This is how you do it. Freeze non-essential contracts that rely on states' permitted or preemptive standards. hmm File on them. Sue them. Sue, sue, sue. I tell y'all, sue no them. Launch a public home rule pledge that candidates must sign on camera. That means our elected, who is currently elected, cannot go outside of our home rule. Texas, we coming for y'all, man. We all together as Texans. But we we from Beaumont, fam. We live in Beaumont, fam. I don't care what y'all do in Houston. I care, but I don't care because I don't reside there. I don't care what y'all do in here, Austin. I care, but I don't care because I don't reside there. I care where I reside. And I hope that Houston and Austin and Dallas and several other municipalities across this state follow suit. Do the same. Sue the pants off your elected officials. And at election time, make sure that you got them pants when you go to the polls. You let them know I'm your mama, I'm your daddy. What I say goes. So publish a weekly list naming the state lawmakers who pushes or pushed the preemptive and the coordinations or corporations that funded them. Name them, write them out. We always doing some investigative journalism anyway without the credentials. So go do it. Y'all want to be public investigators or private investigators? Go do it. It's public information. Go do it. Again, go do it. Don't just complain. Make it cost them. And that's how it happens. Flashpoint for this particular segment in Texas. What local right have you seen weakened where you live? What local right have you seen weakened where you live? Type one for wages, two for air and environment, three for elections, four for the right to protest, or type number five for all of the above and share your city if you could. Yes, that's the question. That's the flashpoint. And I don't want nobody to be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. I just want y'all to know that's the question. For this particular segment, Know Your Rights, we asking that you use your city charter. If you don't know one, find one. Find what your city charter is. Every incorporated city in your state has a city charter. Every incorporated township has a township charter or a charter. If you do not belong to a municipality or a township, ask your county government, hey, what's our county charter? What's our home rule charter for our particular county? Do that. I promise if they don't give you one, create one. And then circle it around the community and have them vote on your new home rule. Roundtable question. If the state keeps writing communities out of their own cities, which legal actions and which civic actions should we pull first? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
First pull are legal levers, city charter powers. Right is right.
Yes.
God bless the truth. If your city has home rule authority, use charter amendments or home rule petitions to lock in local practices, such as uh, transparency, and equity clauses.
Yes.
Even if challenged, it forces the state to show its hand. Number two, coordinated lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Join or file multi city suits against preemption laws, labor, housing, and policing.
Exactly.
Coalitions lower costs and raise profile, and courts take stronger notice when multiple jurisdictions challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, amicus and record building.
Ooh, you
Even
hitting
if
it.
you can't, even if you can't be a plaintiff, place strong objections and documentation into the public record so that they can be cited in ongoing litigation.
Yes.
Okay. Civic levers, first pools. Target ballot pressure. Use
Yes.
local elections and ballot initiatives to punish or replace officials who carried the preemption bills. Donor exposure.
Yes.
Track and publicize which local elites and or companies bankroll anti-local bills.
Mm-hmm.
Shaming donors often forces them to retreat quietly. Strategic boycotts aim at
Mm-hmm.
firms or contractors benefiting directly from state preemption laws, such as infrastructure or policing vendors.
Mm-hmm.
Focused boycotts create reputational risk. The rule of thumb is lead with charter protections plus coordinated lawsuits, legal anchors, then amplify with ballot targeting plus donor shaming, civic pressure. Boycotts are most effective once you've clearly named the bad actors. So that's it in a nutshell.
Hmm. Hmm. Dustin, you have the floor.
All I'm saying is boycott them with your time because for people that work at these plants or whatever, if y'all got a plant manager that decide to we gonna obey state laws and not give y'all A, B, and C, cool. Go on, show them your twit card, show them your badge, and show yourself the gate because there's plenty of other locations hiring. So go ahead, find one of them because not all of these plants are run by idiots. There's some actually run by good people. So go ahead, find you one of those and sit tight and be happy because some of them like pull that foolishness, and that's why there's always incidents going on at their locations. So go ahead, get yourself to a better place and move on. Don't be afraid to quit no job.
Right.
There's always gonna be something out there.
Mm-hmm. I'll create one. It's scarce anyway. Black business ownership is very scarce considered to be considering now. And don't if you create a business, do not look for any federal government contracts because you black. You ain't gonna get it.
Just ask the farmers. They don't work out anyway.
Dustin, what you say? Don't think you're gonna grow nothing because
Mm-mm. Don't depend on the government for them crops.
I promise that's the largest welfare community there is the farmers, huh?
I'm
Now
telling you,
let's stop. Let's
them
stop.
folks
Let's
ain't
stop.
paid for nothing. Seem like it's like their whole living is off the government. I ain't never
Oh.
seen, I ain't never seen a goddamn uh, welfare millionaire. But God,
Oh man.
Truth be told, they are welfare millionaires. They all taking care of us.
Facts. Facts. And we paying for them. Let's see. So Miss Cat said legal. I'm gonna say the first step is legal action on a deadline. On a deadline. Give them a deadline. You hear me? And the moment they go beyond that deadline, there's an infraction, and you filing another lawsuit. They've been climbing out of lawsuits left and right, messing with me. Especially if I was if I was our attorneys general. which is Austin's trying to take the powers even from our attorney general? Or how about if I was the district attorney, our county's district attorney, I would definitely be on the top of our district attorney's head right now as well. So yeah. Legal action on a deadline, charter assertion, and court filings within the same month, not understudy. Dates on the calendar create movement. I promise y'all. You want people in Austin, in the capital, to go into chaos. Give them a command with a timestamp on it. They're gonna go crazy. I promise you. 72 hours is the least amount of time that we should give them. After that, after those first 70 some hours is over with, you're in infraction. Bloop. There's a lawsuit coming. The next 3 days, a lawsuit comes. I don't care if it happens on a Sunday. Guess what? um, you can still get sued on a Sunday, praise ye the Lord, and go back to church on Wednesday for choir rehearsal or Bible study. How about it? Second, starve the sponsors. Starve the sponsors. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you have already identified them, if we as a collective have identified them. Choose the top three corporate donors for each harmful bill and begin public sustained boycott. Ex Target. Recently, ex Disney and news medias. Ask them what happened just recently, and it's still going on. Target's still trying to climb out of it. Walmart still trying to climb out of it, and any other business or place that we patronize. Restaurants then closed because of us. So boycott them. A sustained boycott at that. Do not let the pressure fade after 1 week. Keep hitting them week after week, day after day, hour after hour. Hit them every time, just like they're doing us right now. Just like 4547 did when he first got into office. Start signing pieces of legislation. Start signing lawsuits, just signing them. I guarantee you they'll back off because now they're dealing with an informed and a very powerful electorate. That's one of the things Austin is scared of, and that's one of the things that many of our elected are afraid of, and that is an informed electorate. Third, flip the gatekeepers. Flip them. That's our third one. Flip the gatekeepers, because them are, ooh, 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 them son of a guns. I had to roll that back. Them son of a guns. I
Hmm.
promise. They target the community, hidden. But yeah, so flip the gatekeepers, target the committee chairs who pushes these bills, recruit challengers who signed the home rule pledge on camera. Loyalty to people becomes a requirement, y'all, not a slogan. Oh, I'm loyal. Oh, I'm loyal. If you loyal, I need you to engage because your liberties are at stake. I didn't say your rights. I said your liberties because they give you particular rights and they snatch particular rights away. So fight for your liberties. I guarantee you, you won't go bad. Segment three, local, of course, we're touching on local situations. So definitely think about your local city, your local state, your local town. Think about that. We, in particular, are going to be talking about Beaumont, but it has connotations that even touches your small municipalities. So listen up. The title for this particular segment is From Target to Shield, Community Defense Without Permission. You heard that? Yeah. How our neighborhoods can build protection that is legal, disciplined, and always ready. Here at home, safety cannot be a press conference, y'all. Safety must be a calendar. It must be a checklist. It has a crew, even. You understand that? Protect the places where our wisdom lives, like our churches, like our mosques, our temples, lodges, social clubs, union halls, barbershops, beauty shops, little small taverns that we own, little small pubs that we patronize. Our history, y'all, is at stake in this particular juncture. And the eradication of the current is completion of your history. I just want us to know that. Um, Make them harder targets using basic steps that respect the law and the people. Clear sight lines, strong exterior lighting, um, trained greeters, two-way radios, and written procedures that continue even when people change, when those offices change. This the procedure. If y'all remember a few shows back, Dustin and I had mentioned the standard. We rolling that back up. We rolling that back out. We're gonna roll that back out. I don't know what storage space y'all put it, but we're finding them all over the city of Beaumont, and we're rolling that standard back out. So if you are not a part of the standard, in the last segment we said flip all gatekeepers. So be ready to become that table that Jesus flipped. Um, Again, build a missing persons and trafficking response that starts within minutes, y'all. And I say that because if you are paying attention to black communities or black woes, especially in major cities like Houston, in smaller municipalities like Beaumont, black people are disappearing at alarming rates. And I'm not talking about unaliving themselves or becoming unalived at the hand of the oppressor. I'm talking about missing without a trace. And it's happening again in major metropolitan cities. So build a missing persons and trafficking response that starts within minutes, not days. The
Would they
first
pull
12
a 10
hours
out the bayou in Houston?
in Houston, just what, over the past few days.
10
Come on,
bodies.
Dustin. I know I'm not the only one in the news. My jaw dropped when I heard that. Again, the first 12 hours often decide whether a person
Black
becomes
kids gone missing.
missing or deceased or um, decapitated or what they call only their remains were there. And I'm not talking about body, I'm talking about skeletal remains are there. You
It's a
had
sick
two
people.
people hanging in Mississippi. One y'all was a homeless white man. The other was a student um at Delta State University. And if I hear there's another that's not coming out in the news. Dustin, I think I just saw you put up three. And there's one that happened in Florida. So if we're not maintaining our n- concern of our population and our neighbors, then we're not talking to you. This is what the first 12 hours should look like, y'all. Minutes 1 through 20. Confirm the last place the person was seen. Get a current photograph without filters. Write down clothing, shoes, bags, and identifying marks. Note that last phone location and the last five people that they spoke to. Um, Minutes 20 through, let's say, 60. Activate the contact list. That means a family lead, a faith lead, a school lead, and a block captain. File a police report and write down the case number. Send out a simple flyer that includes a photograph of the subject and one specific identifying detail, such as a scar or tattoo. Hours 2 through 6, visit the three nearest convenience stores, bus stops, street cameras. And volunteers then move in pairs as they do this. Right, one person keeps a written log of all the places that they've been. Hours 6 through 12, call local hospitals and clinics, including jails. Check intake lists. Watch social media while one person is assigned to stop rumors and stop fake leads from spreading. That's to protect and create our own narrative. Create safe passage routes for youth between schools, after school programs, and home. Choose predictable times for 2 weekly walks with adults, radios on, roles assigned. Again, practicing these things weekly so it feels normal and not like a panic. Use public record requests to bring hidden information into light. Ask for security contacts or contracts, threat logs, or uh, who manned that particular who's on that log. Um, Emergency plans, evacuation plans, shelter in place plans, and hazard maps. Hey, this is too wide open. Don't go down this street. They looking over here. They down just like we do almost on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Hey, BPD handing out tickets on this street. Don't come speeding down that street. Y'all know y'all do it already. We doing it already. Again, publish what the city refuses to release or covers in black ink. The more darkness there is, the easier it is for harm to grow. Light is definitely prevention. Finally, draw a clear line between allies and opportunists by behavior, though. An ally signs a neighborhood covenant, opens their building for practice drills, and funds radios or medical clinics, medical kits, um, um, triage. An opportunist takes photographs, delays decisions, and disappears when there is no camera. Disappears when there is no camera. Limelight seekers. We will be polite to people. We will be loyal to the standards that has been set, but we will whoop your ass the moment you think you're going to come into our community and turn it around. Especially with the work that we have done and the collaborations we have made. I even heard Miss Cat say the coalesce that we built. And you can't coalesce if you the ops. I just want you to know. Power shots, y'all ready for these shots?
Yes.
Dr. Campbell, what makes a neighborhood watch lawful and effective without turning into street policing?
So, what makes it lawful is when you observe but don't enforce. Watch, take notes, photos, and videos, suspicious activity, but never physically intervene. Report, don't replace police. Call 911 or the non emergency line when there's a real issue. Be visible but not aggressive. A presence, patrols, signs, or lights can deter crime without confrontation. And
Mm-hmm.
stay organized. Register or inform local police of your watch group. Meet regularly and keep logs. What not to do. Don't carry weapons or chase the people. That's vigilantism.
Okay.
Don't profile by race, clothing, or looking at a place. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't confront or detain anyone. You could face charges.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kidnapping is real.
Don't don't spread rumors on social media. Share only verified info. The bottom line, watch, record, and report. Never patrol like police or act like a judge and jury.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. That hit. Dustin, you ready for your shot?
Yeah,
Give us the price of a starter kit for one corridor, handheld radios, first aid supplies, visible signs, outdoor lights, and camera mounts, as well as headsets for translation. Explain how to scale this with small grant and church giving or community giving.
all right. If you and your gathering can get together $68, you can get yourself a neighborhood watch starter kit, which comes with two 12 by 12 signs, one aluminum, one plastic, 15 neighborhood watch decals,
Hmm.
three copies of a neighborhood watch handbook so you can organize yourself,
Yes.
one copy of the EPH. I didn't look up what that was. It's something with neighborhood watch.
Hmm.
Five downloadable worksheets. So again, you can organize yourself, and then you get to select the option of whichever law enforcement organization you are partnering with, be it police, sheriff, or I think even state police.
I would say U.S.
And
Marshal. I ain't
you
dealing with
get
the
to
state police.
customize your sign, whether you want it to be Boris the Burger, the mask bag guy, or the blue eye for $68. You can also group your group together on the neighborhood or Facebook app so y'all can transfer information between each other for free 99.
Free 99.
Cause trust me, if it's anything like the neighborhood app in my neighborhood, y'all already watching everybody do everything anyway.
Anyway, I promise. I promise.
They get
All
on
right,
my
so I think mine too, and I didn't turn my notifications off. So I think I got the hang of this shot stuff, y'all. I think I got the hang of it, Miss Cat. Let me know though, because I ain't gonna try it again if I don't. Um, so my shot for this particular segment is share a real example where a neighborhood plan prevented a violence or helped solve a crime. What steps can we copy tomorrow morning? So, um, here's a blueprint that I got. Um, it could be copied. It could be like Dustin said, multi-produced, shared among like-minded individuals, and even vetted individuals, right? Two walks every week at the same time along the same path. The times are posted in public. Uh, Periodically, um, doing this periodically discourages predators. It lets them know, hey man, they watching, and it's not just them two that's watching. It's two, and then I see two more different that's watching, and then I see two more later on that's watching, and then I look up, and then there's three. They watching. You feel
that is called a show of force.
exactly, exactly. Same thing ICE is doing in our community. Mm. Every 3 months, host a site offering training for de-escalation and or uh, uh, what is it called? Peer mediation, conflict resolution. Yeah, we need that. We definitely need that. So that whenever we see our lights get cut off for a long period, like old girls say, long periodical lot of time, or however she said, um, it won't stress us as a collective, right? It won't stress us as a collective. If our lights get turned off, if the water get turned out, if the gas get turned out, because again, these things, if y'all just heard in the last segment, the state of Texas can do that to you. So, um, do site rotations so the burden is shared and everybody is familiar with the process and the standard, right? Um, three businesses aim their outdoor cameras toward crosswalks and bus stops. Still images are shared with a corridor lead who protects privacy, right? Don't leak nobody's face unless you are a threat. The video is not dumped on the internet. It is not posted on the internet. It's used when we need it. So if you out here wayward, be mindful, is what we telling you. We watching you. We know that you are not a regular resident, so we see you. Uh, when a person attempts to grab a child or rob a car or whatever the case may be, a greeter at a nearby building will write down the license plate number and call it in on the radio. The uh, three camera angles captured the direction of the car traveling, so we're able to report that. Give everybody else a heads up. Hey, he coming your way. He coming your way. He just turned left. He just turned right. Same thing that the police do during high speed chases. Um, Police made an arrest within 1 day. If we give them this information, they can make an arrest in less than a day. And we are better than the real time crime center. 100% better than the real time crime center. That happens because people are now trained, roles are now assigned, and tools are readily available. Understand that. Flashpoint. Would you give to the chat? Would you give 6 minutes each week to a block safety rotation? Type one in the chat for yes, or two in the chat for no, or just say I cannot, and we'll just understand that. And if you could share the nearest corridor or school. I'm not gonna drop down on you because you said no, and I'm not going to drop down on you because you said yes. I just want to know because these things are happening in our community currently. I just want y'all to know that. So hook, line, and sync with somebody on this show. Hook, line, and sync with other people that are in the community that are in this coalition and collaborating collectively. Know your rights. In Texas, you can record in public. Do not attempt a citizen's arrest. Do not attempt a citizen's arrest. Do not attempt a citizen's arrest. We know that in some courts, a citizen's arrest holds more weight than a police officer. But in these trying times of tension and biases, do not attempt a citizen's arrest. Houses of worship can set entry procedures. They can request a protective order when a person or group threatens them. Understand that. I heard or saw on a clip last week ran by one of the local newses where previously elected council member at large, Pastor Randy Felshaw, said what his church goes through for safety, security, and protection. So, and I'm quite sure that many other churches, like Antioch, Cathedral of Faith, um, Mount Zion, other churches may have had no issues with having to have an armor bearer in the past. Now, you got an armor bearer in the pulpit. You got an armor bearer in the baptismal pool. You got an armor bearer in the choir. You got an armor bearer as the doorkeeper. You got an armor bearer as the associate minister. You got an armor bearer passing the sacrament around, the Lord's Supper around. Yeah, yeah. So if you're in Texas, do not attempt a citizen's arrest. Houses of worship can set entry procedures, and you can request a protective order when a person or group threatens you. Just know that. We're gonna drop that in the we're gonna drop that in the chat for y'all too. The roundtable question, if y'all ready. What will what will it take? What will it take to move our city from crying after harm to preventing harm? And which 10 institutions do we enlist this week to start? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
It's going to require a shift. We're going to have to move from only mourning after harm to guarding before harm by organizing power, setting clear duties, and refusing silence. The
Mm.
first 10 institutions to enlist this week are neighborhood associations, churches or
Mm-hmm.
faith coalitions, school boards and parent groups, local
Mm-hmm.
bar and attorney associations, community clinics and health workers, small business alliances, local unions and worker centers, um, college student organizations, civil rights, nonprofits, and or chapters,
Mm-hmm.
and independent local media outlets. The formula is root in neighborhoods, anchor with faith in law, extend through schools, workers, health, and media. So grief turns into guardrails.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's sweet. Dustin, you got the floor.
What we gotta do, we gotta get people to actually care. And not just fake care, care enough to get on up off that couch. Ugh. And even if you're on the couch, that's fine too. But you gotta stop talking a good game, which everybody love to do. Oh, we
Mm-hmm.
gotta do this, we gotta do that. They gotta put some work into though.
Mm-hmm.
Just something as simple as how about we check the sex offender registry in our area? When the last time you gave it an eyeball? I eyeball it quite often. Why? Because my credit monitoring company sends me an updated list quite often. Check around your neighborhood. Check around where your church at. Check
Mm-hmm.
around where your kids go to school at. Even
Mm-hmm.
though it's supposed to be so many feet away, things slip up.
Right.
So they just do some, minor stuff. You see some activity and have real conversation with your kids about what went
Mm-hmm.
on in school. Cause you'd be amazed about how much they actually tell you and how
All you
much
gotta do is
going on at
ask.
schoolhouse that ain't getting back to you.
Right. 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 Man, for me, here's the plan called 10 and 10. It's called 10 and 10. Choose 10 institutions. For example, two churches, one mosque, one temple, two schools, two stores, one lodge, and one union hall. That's American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, um, uh, Brothers Club, Appomattox, Diamond Social Club. Um, that looks like you know, yeah, these groups, those spaces. Yeah. Um, over the next 10 weeks, each institution hosts one practice drill, and this drill varies, right? Buys one piece of shared equipment such as radios, lights, or medical kits, and commits 1 hour per week to the corridor. Um, publish the schedule and the list for participating institutions. Allied institutions. Let's make that straight. Let's make that clear. allied individuals and institutions. If a major institution will not sign the covenant, say so publicly and invite them again the next following month. We only doing it twice. We only gonna come and knock on your door twice. We are not God. We are not the Holy Spirit to stand at the door, and that's not us. We leave that to the Holy Spirit. We leave that to the Holy Ghost. We leave that to your relationship. He said he's standing at the door and knock. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Cause I know you see me out this peephole. I know you done heard me at your front door and your back door. I done even knocked at your side window enough to get shot, and you still in there peeping at me through the cracks. So you know what? Stay where you at. We know where to put you.
Heck, you gonna get shot knocking on my back door.
That part. So, we gonna only approach you twice. Outside of that, we ain't coming again no more. We and we know where to place you, even if you are in the boundaries of our areas of protection. You will be the little island like everybody say Beaumont is and Houston is when it comes to the red state Texas. Don't play with us. Uh yeah. So standards built, standards safe, standards followed. So secrets, on the other hand, they build danger. And that's one thing we are not going to do is hold secrets from those that are in our community. So I'll definitely want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Roundtable Talk. Miss Cat, give us something for the rest of the week, Queen.
Well, when laws shrink our voice and grief tempts us to silence, we answer by guarding each other with truth, law, and love. Like Nehemiah's builders, we keep a sword in one hand and a trowel in the other. That comes from Nehemiah 4 and 17.
Come
And
on,
we're
Scripture.
we're always watching, building, and refusing to be written out of our own city.
I totally agree, Queen. Thanks for that.
Mhm.
Dustin, give us something for the rest of the week. Or the word.
I'm gonna go with the word of the week. They used to say back in the day that I was destined for the pulpit. I didn't believe them. Still don't. But
Wait,
moving on.
wait, they said what, Dustin?
They say I was destined for the pulpit. I beg to differ. Ugh. But the word of the week is idolize.
Uh-uh.
Just stick with me. We're gonna get on it. Idolize means to love, admire, or worship someone or something to the excessive degree, often seeing them as perfect or flawless.
Mm.
While it can refer to a traditional religious practice of worshiping idols, it describes placing a person like a celebrity or a family
Yes, or the
member
president.
or the president or a podcast guy
Come on.
who happened to get shot in the neck, placing them on a pedestal and admiring them unquestionably.
Yes.
Sound familiar? It absolutely does. Because for y'all people that can't seem to live without your political base, be it Democratic, Republic, or whatever you like to call yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that is idolizing. There's about 10 plus verses that directly coincide to that in that Bible y'all like to thump
Come
all the
on,
time.
Scripture.
And if you would like to quote those scriptures, you can holler at me in the direct messages, or you could post on my page and I could publicly show you what those scriptures is. Because even though my actions are my action, I behave, I behave, I grew up in the church and I will destroy anybody in anything Bible worthy because not only did I study that, but I studied other religions as well. So while you sitting over there worried about your one, I could discuss several. But anywho, The idolizing is a problem. The flags you fly, Les, aren't just the United States flag. That is idolizing. You making bumper stickers for presidential candidates that you usually didn't used to see, but now all of a sudden you do. Wearing hats that represent a certain brand of political belief is idolizing.
Man.
Showing up 300 plus by old market basket for a visual for a man you did not know is idolizing. But you go ahead and find your scripture in the Bible that allows you to do such things. And I'm going to continue having a good day.
Keep having, sir.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. Oh. Like I said, I definitely thank you all for tuning into the Roundtable Talk. The Roundtable Talk Show on the Knowledge is Power podcast live. Tune in on every Sunday. Our platform host, Tony Renfro, will be on his Knowledge is Power podcast at 7 o'clock. Again, know that we are coming back on every Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. With the Roundtable Talk Show. And of course, um, here is what I have for you all for the rest of the week. Um, they want us to be gentle with power and patient with violence. Uh, we will be neither. Let me lean in so you can understand. We will be neither. At the national level, we will build our own parallel. And this parallel is a parallel of protection. Okay. So that our lives do not depend on press releases. Okay. In Texas, we will answer preemption with city charters. That's what we about to do. With court filings and with economic pressure that does not fade after a week. Yeah, that's coming. This I'm laying it out for you for the week. Understand it. It's already in motion. Today is Tuesday. At home, we will turn targets into shields with calendars, checklists, trainings, and neighborhoods or neighbors who show up even when it rains. Oh, I ain't gonna be able to make it today. The weather bad. Now, even me have issues with the rain and lightning, but I'm a stroll up there. It's commitment to safety, protection of our people. We on this particular evening, because all around the city, like Dustin said, we're preparing to honor here in the city of Beaumont. Some, not all, some are preparing to honor a racist, a xenophobic individual who spewed hatred rhetoric directly to the Black, brown, and African American diaspora, not just here in the United States. This Negro, nope, he's not a Negro. I meant to say it the other word. That's what I meant to say. This ignorant buffoon came after the entire brown diaspora. I don't care if you were from Kubla Khan or Conroe, Texas. This white man told you that you and your legacy and lineage here in this country and or abroad was non-existent. Ask him, oh, we can't ask him nothing now. But he'll tell you what, go back a little while and pull up the records of what he said about Palestinians and Gaza. This man is being honored or was honored as a domestic terrorist with half staff flags flown for at least a week. We honor on this particular evening Medgar Evers. We honor Malcolm X. We honor Emmett Till. We honor Martin Luther King and several other minorities, as this United States called us, for the major work that they done. And many, many, many others still are a benefit today. I do want you to know that if you are watching and you are the ops, tread lightly. We see you. And as always, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Good night.
Can see my frustration as a career.
You on TV?
Well, y'all through?
Yes, sir. We done.
All right, then. Catch you guys the next time.
Absolutely.